starts with a hey, then we get down and we start to dance in my booty. Get down and boogie with the tip top, sticking it on the dance floor. I'm not checking you out, I'm just checking your checks. It better be good so I could be bad. I know you fancy. Do you think I'm sexy? Put your arms around where I can see them. Put your hands around where I can feel them. I'll be giving you the satisfaction, but no attraction, no action. It's not about the size, it's how you use what your mama gave you. You snooze, you lose. Look at me dancing. Do you think I'm sexy?
Do you? No, not me. This is the Ferrari GTC4 Lusso. So it says over there. It is the new FF, which means it's the new breadvan. Ferrari likes having a four-seater car in its range. Since the introduction of the FF, it's been this estatey breadvan-y shape. So what's new? Well, on the outside, there are now twin taillights rather than single taillights at the back. Quite like those. There's a new diffuser underneath and a new spoiler on the rear to improve the aerodynamics. I think they also make it look a bit better too. This is still quite a quirky, quite an attractive, quite appealing car, I think. Inside, well, it is very much newer. I've got this really wide 10+ inch touchscreen. Two swoopy areas for me and the passenger. The passenger gets their own touchscreen too. It's a really nice, sweet touch, that. And it is a full four-seater. How are you doing back there? Yeah, I'm very comfortable, thank you, Matthew. I mean, you're 5'10", I'm 5'10". I've got an inch or two of knee room, a couple of inches of headroom, my own armrests and air vents. Yeah, I'm pretty comfy, thanks. Marvellous. Right, mechanically, there are quite a few changes. I'm afraid I'm going to have to make you look at some graphs as we go through those. So power is up 30 horsepower over the FF to 680 horsepower, you see, and now that is because of a, get this, slightly rich mixture under the spark plug, and also because the engine keeps the flame kernel convection away from the spark plugs. Whatever that means, anyway, it does mean more power. Now there is a new rear steering system too, that's adapted from the one that made its debut on the F12 TDF of last year. It only moves up to about 3 degrees, but depending on whether the rear wheels move in phase or out of phase with the fronts, it either promotes agility or stability, and it can do either depending on speed and so on and so forth. Weight distribution remains ever so slightly rear biased, and the gearbox is mounted at the back, and that is still a 7-speed dual clutch auto. But there is another gearbox at the front as well. Now this is too complex even for graphs, but that delivers some power to the front wheels, but only in gears 1 to 4. From 5th gear onwards, the GTC4 Lusso is rear drive only. So, what's it like? Well, let's take it out of auto, stick the little Manatino on this newly designed steering wheel up to sport, although I still would prefer a round steering wheel. It's not that much to ask, is it? A round steering wheel, clues in the name, wheel. Ferrari steer quicker than most cars. This is the thing, they're sort of weirdly quite proud of the fact they're steering so sharp. But this GTC4 has got slightly slower steering, or certainly a longer wheelbase and more lock, because it's 2.2 turns between locks, which makes it a little bit more relaxed than, well, a lot more relaxed than an F12. It is loud enough when you go for it, isn't it? It's still got this naturally aspirated V12, so there is not bags of torque like a lot of these new turbocharged engines. You have to work it. It revs to 8,250 RPM. Which for a large, nearly 2-ton Grand Tour like this is a heck of an engine. And it drives through this 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, which acts really cleanly, really smoothly. Even if you leave it in automatic mode for that sort of just pootling around, it's very, very smooth, but then so responsive when you want the shifts yourself. So Ferrari claims 3.4 seconds to 62, 208 miles an hour all in. Both of those, absolutely no problem whatsoever. But the great thing about this car is the duality of purpose. If you just sit back, mooch on these mountain roads that have got more bicycles, motorbikes than you've ever seen, I swear, in your entire life. You stick it back into auto, stick it back into comfort. It's one of the most relaxing cars around. I have a lot of time for this car, and all those little aids, the four-wheel drive, the four-wheel steer, you don't notice them most of the time. I mean, you don't notice them coming in and cutting out when they do it. I think fundamentally this car's got a really well sorted chassis, and it's just got those little extra things just to help it out here and there. And like most Ferraris, you can stick the dampers in their normal mode, in which in comfort they're soft, and then as you flip them to sport they go firmer, but you can still put them in bumpy road mode, even if you've got the engine and the ESC and everything else turned up to its angry levels, which is a really lovely idea. I don't know why more manufacturers don't just do that, just keep the dampers soft button. But what strikes me about this car, have you seen the intro to the Italian Job? Matey's driving his Lamborghini Miura up these switchback mountain roads, and he's pretty relaxed, isn't he? He's not having to stir the gearbox. It's not a frenetic drive like it would be in any modern Lamborghini, for example. It's just nice and relaxed, classy, understated, elegant, romantic, but still a genuine sports car drive, a sports car driving experience. I'm trying to think which car on sale today kind of has most of that character and that emotion about it. And I genuinely think it is this. And for that, and many other reasons, that makes this car incredibly appealing.